What's good? No. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name's Vanessa. I'm an American who's moving abroad. If you've been before, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel where we discuss all things moving abroad, all things getting the heck out of America. So yeah, if you are interested in moving abroad, if you're interested in having conversations about America and maybe why some of us want to leave, you're in the right place. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, okay? I'm putting out videos every day talking about the process of moving abroad, the visa, the fears, the projections, all of that stuff. Because moving abroad, and this can be for any major decision, and this is we're already getting into today's video. But moving abroad, what I have observed, is it is a decision that is like other decisions that are not standard on the list of what you were told to do, right? Go to school, get a job, find a partner, get married, have babies. If you do anything that's not on that list, um, maybe even just changing your career or deciding for yourself not to have kids or moving to a new state. It doesn't have to be moving abroad, moving anywhere. Just a new change in your life that is not from the prescribed list of things that we've been told to do. If you make a decision like that in your life, what I've observed is that there will be people who will project their fears and their insecurities onto you. And I just want to have a quick conversation about that because it's something that since I have been telling people more about, I've been observing it a little bit more. Um, so yeah, I just want to have a quick conversation about that because I think it's important to be aware of. Because I know that yes, I'm experiencing this right now in terms of my move abroad, but I am a big, bold person, and I'm sure that there will be decisions in my life that I make that other people are like, wait, why are you doing that? Um, and this reminds me of a quote. I had a post-it note. Have the courage to disappoint people, okay? And so if you are someone who has that courage, who is living your life for you, people are going to say things and project their fears. Sometimes people will project their excitement onto it too. Like I think I've had tons of excitement also projected onto me. But there's some other things with it as well. So let's just get into a quick story time. I want to talk about two quick things. One, the projection, and then I want to talk a little bit about some gaslighting. I haven't, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, so I don't want to, I'm not sure how these two things are connected, but there are like two things that I have been, maybe I'll figure that out as we're talking through them, but two things that have really been thrown my way a lot lately. And I'm curious if other people have experienced this too, whether or not it was around the decision to move abroad or just to do something else with your life, maybe to get a divorce, to leave a partner, to decide not to be child free, all decisions that are sort of like outside of the norm of what we are prescribed to do. So, um, I will say, so I'm getting closer to the move date. Um, just a few less than a month. Oh my gosh. So I'm having to share it more. I'm like a very private person, which is a whole nother video. Like, why am I private? I'm not gonna get into that on this call. But I have had to share with more people, like, hey, I'm moving, like just letting people know. And I will say, my friends and family, their responses have been amazing. Like, none of the, well, I don't want to say none, but 90% of the feedback from my friends, my family, my immediate circle has been like so positive. Like, yes, yes, yes. Like, we love you. This will be great for you. We can see you doing this, things like that. And while it does feel really good for that positive reinforcement too, I do want to emphasize that like I was not looking for their feedback, right? Like I made this decision for me. I knew it would work for me. So their positive and reinforcement, it definitely means a lot and it helps me too, but it's not the sole like, oh, okay, well I need their feedback. I need their buy-in because that's just not the way I live my life. And that I don't think that's the way people who want to like do big things or just live their authentic life. I don't think that we can look for the approval of others before we make these big decisions. So I have, 90% of the feedback has been positive. It's really when I've sort of started to like have to tell people who are like not my circle, but like the outer circle, like maybe there's someone in my circle, or like I have extended family. So people who are not like my friends, people who are like, but there are people who I know. And some of their responses have been so filled with fear, and that fear is then projected or attempted to be projected onto me. And that's just something I just wanted to talk about because I'm grateful. I don't know if a year ago or maybe like 2 years ago, if I would have observed it or like immediately caught it as projection, I think I would have immediately been like, well, this person thinks that, so could it be true? But now I'm sort of seeing that a lot of opinions that folks have about big decisions are really just fears that they are attempting to project onto me. And it's not a personal thing, like, right? Like they're not projecting onto me because of me. It's that's their own thing. Like those are their own fears, though those are their own limitations. And I don't want to bash those people. Like that's not the aim of this video. It's really just I'm talking to myself and I'm talking to anyone else out there. I'm so grateful that I have recently in recent years like worked with a therapist and worked with like just really amazing people who have reiterated like focus on yourself, focus on you, focus on your why. And the why work, I would have never done this, right? Like the why. Why are you doing this? Why do I want to move abroad? I in my process of accepting the position, I did the why practice. Like, why do I want to move abroad? Like, what are the reasons why? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I do feel like because I did that practice and then like I did the practice one time, right? But then a practice, it's a reoccurring thing. I did the practice one I did the practice once, but then like I'm telling myself these things every day. My reason why. And my reason why is absolutely why I know I'm able to like be empowered with my decision and not let other people's opinions be projected onto me. So I hope that makes sense. Essentially it's just that other people, they will have their opinions and they'll have their opinions. And the opinions can be filled with fear, limiting beliefs, excitement. But a lot of times I think when you're making big decisions, people project their fear onto you. I just lost my train of thought. People will project their fears onto you, and it's just really really important to know that and know that at the end of the day we get to decide who we are and how we want to live our lives and like why we want to do certain things, and really asking ourselves, why do I want to do this? Why do I have this desire? And like really sitting with it, and then committing to that why every day. If I hadn't done that, I think I might have like bailed or said no maybe to the move. If maybe not, if I hadn't done that and I had family or friends who were very against it, I totally could see how I might be more like in the closet, for lack of a better terminology. I would have been much more nervous about it. And I do think, like to an extent too, I recognize I'm the first person in my family to do this. I don't have any friends who are doing this either. So for a while, I kept it to myself because I'm the only person, I'm an adult, okay? I am in my 30s. I don't need to ask permission to move. I don't have kids. I don't have to figure out some kind of custody with somebody else, or I don't even have to like consider another human being. But I kept the decision to myself for a while because it was my decision. Or let me say, I kept the desire to myself for a while as I was working on it, and I didn't inform people until I had everything set up because that's just me. Again, I'm a private person, and I knew that I didn't want anyone else's potential limiting beliefs to limit my own desires or like my own. Yeah, I just didn't want it to be projected onto me and start having fear. Um, Even on the internet, I think I've shared this on this channel before, but before I said yes to my move, I did a lot of research about moving abroad. I'm going to go teach English abroad. I will make a video about that, talking more about the program. And like once I get there too, I'll make tons of videos about that. But a big thing on the internet is that it is mostly people in their 20s who go to teach English in America. Or sorry, it's mostly Americans in their 20s who go abroad to teach English. And so for a while, I was telling myself, I was like, I'm too old, like, I can't do this. And I was reading that a lot online too. But like, I remember I read something in a Reddit thread that was like, teaching abroad is for rich people who are in their 20s, like rich kids who have a trust fund or something. And I totally get where that sentiment is coming from because it's typically younger people and the pay is not great. So I'm sure there are a lot of people who have a trust fund. Your girl does not have a trust fund, okay? So when I first saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't do this because I saw someone on Reddit say that. I was like, I can't do it. Ah! I can't believe that. I almost let someone on Reddit not let me like go after and fulfill my dreams. That's crazy. So learn from your girl. Don't do that. Like if you know something you that there's something you want to do, ask yourself why. And if that why is fulfilling and it's sustaining and it means something to you, go after it. Don't let anyone tell you you can't make enough money doing it. You're too old to do it. Now, obviously, the money thing, all of these things is feedback and it's information. So yes, the pay is not great. So I've done things in the meantime to supplement my pay so that I'm not just relying on that one paycheck. So it's like, well, I'm making it work, right? I'm making it work more than that one person on Reddit. Good. But again, like that person, they were just sharing their fears, right? They might have thought they were too old to do it or that they couldn't figure out how to manage the money and figured out, the way that it's going to be set up. So again, that's that person's belief, limiting belief, but it does not have to be mine. It doesn't have to be yours. So just know anytime you are making a big decision, um, follow your North Star, right? Ask yourself why, make your plan. I'm not advocating to just make plans willy-nilly, right? Like a lot of thought went into the decision, which if you're moving abroad, a lot of thought will have to go into the decision because it's not something that you can just like move abroad one day. Which is another video too, because I think a lot of Americans are very unaware of like visa requirements, like which is so interesting just considering the state of like immigration in America right now. But yeah, you can't just go somewhere else and just live there. Like there are things that you have to obtain a visa. You can't just go anywhere and live anywhere. I think a lot of the Americans I have spoken to don't seem aware of that. That's another video. But yeah, like make a plan, research it, do know the steps that are required to achieve what you want to do. Um, but at the end of the day, your why is the most important reason why. And if you don't know a why, if you can't sit down and name a why, then that's something that I think you should ask yourself, well, where am I even getting these desires? This is a whole nother video, but I'll think of it like I think a lot of us do this when we decide our careers. And it's unfortunate that we are forced to decide what we want to do so early in life. Like, why do I have to figure out what I want to do when I'm 22 years old? Like my brain's not even fully developed. But I think a lot of us want to go into careers. The why is to make money. And I get it. I had for all of my career, my why has been to make money. I'm doing this so that I can make money. So that I can, maybe enjoy a little bit of my work, but like ultimately my decisions are around making money. And where that got me was 32 and burnt out and having to change careers completely. So I finally am understanding the follow your passion, don't follow the money thing. I can finally say I am seeing that. And they say the money comes, so to be TBD on that one. But follow your why, your North Star. Okay. I want to end the video here. I want to say one quick thing, and maybe this will be another video, but sort of coupled with that, with the feedback that people have been giving to me when I move abroad, something that is so annoying is when people are seriously asking me, like, well, why are you moving abroad? Like, in 2025, you're really asking me that? You're asking me, a black person, a black woman, why I'm trying to get out of here? That just doesn't sit well with me. I feel like there is this nature of gaslighting, and this is where I can't figure out how the gaslighting and the projection tie into one another. I know that they do somehow, but there's just like this gaslighting of like the economy, racism, opportunities, politics. Like, how many things do I need to name for why I'm wanting to move abroad? And I will be honest, every black person I've told I'm moving abroad is like, I think every black, I'm only gonna talk, every black person I met is like, good for you. Now, there have been non-black people who have responded appropriately too, like, that's amazing, like, that makes sense. Like, but there have been some people who are like seriously asking me why, and I'm just like, the people who were asking me why are the same people who were like projecting their fears. Um, and I just feel like we have this like culture of like American exceptionalism, and that results in a lot of gaslighting to keep us here. Like, America is the best place in the world. Like, okay, how did you come to that decision? Like, what data are you looking at? Because if we're talking numbers, no. No, 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 no. If we're talking like happiness, no. If we're talking health, no. If we're talking education, no. If we're talking longevity of life, no. But there is a huge percentage of Americans, and it doesn't even really fall. I'm sure that if you did like a little circle, there would be ideological um cohorts that, that feel this way. But I've had people from all from I don't really interact with people from but I'll say this. I've had people from all spectrums ask me that, and I'm just like, I haven't had like truly progressive people ask me that. Like, I think the people who get it. But yeah, there's just this like exceptionalism that is keeping, I think, Americans stuck. And, I am moving out of the country not because I think that the country I'm moving to is perfect. I've watched enough news and I've studied enough government. I actually am a government major in college, okay? So I know a lot about governments and like how they operate. And I no, so I've seen enough of the world that I know that countries are not perfect. Governing bodies are not perfect. Powerful men, some women, are not perfect. Okay. So I'm not going somewhere thinking that other places are perfect. But it's just so interesting to be met with this like gaslighting, like, "Oh, well, you're never gonna find anything like," it's like, okay. Or like, people are like, well, people, and this actually was something that actually like I will say this one kept me stuck for a little bit. Like, well, people are still dying to come to the United States, right? It's like, why are you leaving? Um, right? Like, okay. I mean that doesn't even like that doesn't even deserve an answer, but like these are like sort of like thoughts. Like, why are you leaving? Why would you leave? And it's like, the world is big. The world is small. It really is small, but it's also big. And I gotta go experience something else. So I'm gonna wrap it up there. I just, so like to wrap everything up, I'm moving, not expecting perfection from another country. So the gaslighting of like, well, there's nothing more, there's no better opportunities in America. Like, no, that's not gonna work on me. I'm going to experience something different. I'm going to experience something different, period. And then the second thing, projecting limiting thoughts. I had enough of my own limiting thoughts that I do not need other people's bullshit to be projected back onto me either. So just know, if you have made a decision, if you are making a decision, a big decision, whether or not it's moving abroad or any decision that is outside of like the 10 things that we are allowed. I don't even think it's 10 things. I literally think it's like 6 things you're allowed to do as an adult that people will approve of. And if you do anything else, people are going to have an opinion. Their opinion is none of my business, okay? Their opinion is none of my business. Period. All right, y'all. I'll be back tomorrow. If you watch this video, subscribe, okay? Hit the like button. I'm building my channel. Y'all, help your girl build this channel, okay? If you are interested in moving abroad, I'm going to keep posting these videos about all things like this, conversations, fears, blah, 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 blah. Okay? We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. See you next time.